Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the virtually amazing SmallSat 2021 and the Orbital Transports webinar. I'm Dave Hurst, and I'd like to take this opportunity to share a few updates about the company and some challenges in assuring quality and reliability in your SmallSat mission. And I'd like to discuss also how Orbital Transports helps solve some of these supply chain issues. So welcome to managing your SmallSat supply chain with Orbital Transports. Orbital Transports is a space logistics company positioning itself to build and operate orbital infrastructure in low Earth orbit and cislunar space. The company is currently focused on delivering comprehensive small satellite programs from initial concept through completed mission. We provide end-to-end space logistics, managing complex operations involving vehicles, human resources, facilities, and services required for successful space missions. If you want to put a payload in space or even deploy sensors or instruments in a constellation, there's no longer any reason to build your own satellites. Orbital Transports offers turnkey mission outsourcing for startups, universities, research institutions, and companies interested in harnessing value from space or space data. But building spacecraft and operating space missions is not their business objective. We allow our clients to focus on their primary business objectives and not be burdened with the space logistics of getting there. In order to fulfill on customer missions, Orbital Transports has built a network of partner companies. Our role is that of a general contractor, coordinating supply chain partners and connecting technologies to deliver customer space missions. In building our supply chain partner network, we observed some challenges in the SmallSat industry that I'd like to share with you. In only the past few years, the SmallSat industry has developed a large and complex supply chain. The number of mission builders, manufacturers, suppliers, and providers is diversifying and growing rapidly. It seems like every day I'm learning about another new space company that I've never even heard of before. What's remarkable to me is how global this industry is. Companies can have global supply chains and customers. Although a majority of manufacturers can be found in Europe and the United States, there are players on every continent except Antarctica. And with all this activity going on, the technology is evolving rapidly. What was state of the art last year is becoming obsolescent this year. In this environment, players must be nimble and adapt to the changing landscape. Speed and flexibility are your keys to success. You can think of the SmallSat supply chain as a pyramid of tiers, where each tier incorporates products from the tier below it and provides products of increasing complexity and sophistication to the tier above it. Tier 1 consists of complete SmallSat and CubeSat platforms. Tier 2 consists of nanosatellite subsystems, including ADCS, CDNH, power, propulsion, structures, and so forth. Tier 3 consists of assemblies, such as computers, batteries, antennas, star trackers, and heat pipes. Tier 4 consists of lower-level components and parts, like amplifiers, optical encoders, solar cells, and slip ring assemblies. Tier 5 consists of hardware and materials, like ball bearings, screws, gaskets, mylar, rayon, and aluminum. At the very top of the supply chain pyramid, the products provide the most direct value to the end user. And at each tier, the products are built from the products in the tier below it. As you go deeper into the pyramid, the value to the end user is more indirect, and the products tend to become more generalized. One of the big driving factors in the SmallSat industry has been the advent and growth of SmallSat constellations. Satellite operators with plans to fly dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of satellites are generating a demand for large-scale production of SmallSat hardware. And yet, scaling up is a huge challenge for manufacturers. A shockingly large number of satellite components are still laboriously manufactured by hand, and manual production lines are notoriously difficult to scale up. Vendors that worked out brilliantly for technology demonstration mission often can't execute when it comes time for full-scale constellation rollout. The result is often wildly varying performance and failure rates for different units from the same production facility. Research conducted by Spaceworks suggests that a failure rate of 30% is common in commercial constellations. Even in an industry that claims a higher tolerance for failure, these failure rates are still agonizingly costly for constellations, especially when you factor in the cost of launch. These changes are having other effects on the small satellite industry. The traditional approach to mission development is to define your requirements and then develop specific technologies to satisfy those requirements. But in the environment of faster, cheaper, bespoke technology development takes too long and just costs too much. With the vast and growing set of products available, it's easier to identify components that are close enough and accept some descoping of mission requirements to meet cost and schedule constraints. Mission planners are increasingly turning to commercial off-the-shelf products that meet these mission constraints rather than building their own components. And when requirements change, as they inevitably do, having a selection of available products makes choosing alternatives more attractive than redesigning and redeveloping. The challenge then becomes one of ensuring the quality of sourced components. Tracking the pedigree of materials and components through the supply chain is important to maintain consistency. For example, components with flight heritage will lead to improved quality and reliability. To address these concerns, we're seeing a push toward vertical integration in the SmallSat supply chain. Here, the arrows represent the flow up the supply chain pyramid from component suppliers at the bottom toward the end user at the top. Vertical integration means bringing previously outsourced operations in-house. Operations can be integrated downward, meaning the component toward the component manufacturers, or integrated upward, meaning toward the end users. Vertically integrated operations promise to control expense and supplier risk and to improve quality control. Large satellite constellations need economies of scale to close capital-intensive business cases. But to close those business cases, these efficiencies must outweigh long setup lead times and high setup costs. In the limit, the desire for maximum efficiency leads to a fully integrated supply chain. And we see this happening with some large space companies like SpaceX. However, there is a point of diminishing returns. For example, why should a spacecraft operator be manufacturing a commodity part like ball bearings? The reality for most companies is that bringing everything in-house is expensive and difficult. And as we've seen, the SmallSat industry is expanding and evolving rapidly with new suppliers and new products. SmallSat companies and constellation builders need to be agile and able to quickly change direction with the market. Building a heavyweight, vertically integrated supply chain burns valuable capital and could quickly drag down a company if not implemented effectively. A sunk cost into extensive manufacturing facilities can be hard to retool as new technologies become available. What mission planners really want is a trusted source to streamline finding the products they need and to manage the supply chain for them. What's needed is an integrated supply chain management specialist who can provide efficiencies up and down the supply chain. Companies at every level can participate in a curated supply chain and benefit from managed integration without the expense and burden of bringing everything in-house. These changes in the SmallSat industry and transitions in the supply chain prompted Orbital Transports to build the SmallSat Catalog. We introduced the SmallSat Catalog at this conference last year as a digital portal for the SmallSat industry, bringing the SmallSat supply chain online. The first resource of its kind, the SmallSat Catalog offers everything a customer needs to plan a successful SmallSat mission. You can search among hardware, software, services, and engineering expertise for your SmallSat mission and request a quote or for more information. Orbital Transports has brought together some of the industry's most innovative and reliable companies to offer the widest possible set of solutions while maintaining quality standards. The SmallSat Catalog features CubeSat and SmallSat buses, nanosatellite hardware components, ground station services, mission operations software, hosted payloads, satellite servicing and refueling technologies, development and test equipment, and microgravity biotech experiment modules, to name a few. And this collection is continually growing as we add new products and services over time. The SmallSat Catalog provides a convenient go-to resource to check out the latest and greatest that the SmallSat industry has to offer and to order the products and services you need. But more than simply a collection of products and services, through the SmallSat Catalog, Orbital Transports is able to offer integrated supply chain management services to our partners and customers. Customers need not be beholden to a specific product line and will have access to a wide variety of solutions. Furthermore, agile SmallSat companies need a supply chain source that's flexible and responsive to rapid changes. When critical requirements, specifications, statements of work, and bills of material change, with our knowledge of the SmallSat industry, Orbital Transports can quickly identify and propose appropriate alternatives. Significant concern is supply chain transparency. What are the lead times for product manufacturing and delivery? What are the actual product costs, not just for manufacturing, but also for shipping, handling, taxes, import duties, and other regulatory requirements? Orbital Transports maintains close relationships with our partners and tracks all this data so we can provide our customers with the latest up-to-date information. As I mentioned earlier, the SmallSat industry has become truly global, with many manufacturers in Europe, Africa, Asia, and elsewhere. Companies relying on international supply chains must deal with shipping across international borders and a host of import and export concerns. Orbital Transports handles these issues and makes sure your international shipments comply with the necessary export licensing and import duties. One of the hardest aspects of managing your own supply chain is maintaining the delivery schedule, knowing the real status of your product orders and assuring they will be delivered on time. Our partner relationships enable us to monitor production schedules and keep our customers apprised of order status. We'll know when there will be delays in production and can inform you at the earliest opportunity. We handle shipping logistics as well, so we can ensure that products are delivered to your doorstep on time. A final concern is assuring supplier certifications and assessing product quality. Is the supplier following ISO 9000 quality management principles? Are they ISO 9001 certified? Have their products been subjected to qualification and acceptance testing? Do they meet the GEVS 7000 standard for environmental verification? Orbital Transports tracks all this data on all products in the SmallSat Catalog. An important part of any managed process, including an integrated supply chain, is monitoring of performance metrics across the process. Only a supply chain management specialist with access to suppliers at all the tiers in the supply chain can monitor performance metrics such as supplier lead times, timeliness of response, quality of product, adaptability to requirements change, capacity, and scalability. By monitoring these performance metrics, Orbital Transports can optimize across the supply chain process and deliver efficiencies for all our customers and supply chain partners. All these managed supply chain services shown here are available right now, today, from Orbital Transports and the SmallSat Catalog. I'd like to thank the SmallSat Conference for this opportunity to discuss with you supply chain management for the SmallSat industry. I hope you found it useful. If you'd like to know more about the SmallSat Catalog or Orbital Transport's SmallSat mission and supply chain services, or are interested in joining our partner network, please contact me. If you'd like to join our mailing list, send an email to info@orbitaltransports.com. And we have a live chat channel open for the duration of the conference, so you're welcome to drop by and say hi. And thanks for coming by today.